Living Local Carolina with Katie Turner. Local trends, shopping, dining, and more. This is Living Local Carolina.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Beach Injury Lawyers. Hey guys, welcome back to Living Local Carolina. We are in a different setting today with the Beach Injury Lawyers, Will and Greg. We're getting cozy on the couch today. How are y'all doing?
I got to tell you, I like the couch.
It's nice and comfortable, if you ask me.
And since we're on the couch, we are all dressed casually.
It's a casual day, but does that have anything to do with the topic that we're starting with today?
No, it just was that I was so lazy this morning, I just refused to put on a suit.
Well, we have a lot to talk about today.
We do.
We need to dive in.
We do.
We're first talking about what to bring to your estate planning meeting.
Yes. Okay.
What do you do? What do you bring?
Well, let's talk about the estate planning special that we have run on the show before, and it's still running. We do we offer a simple will for $250 for a single person, and for a married couple, it's $500. I think that's, if you call around, you will find that there's not a price like that in Myrtle Beach, I don't believe. So what to bring? Well, we get a lot of calls about the special, and one of the questions is, what do I bring? So I always tell them this: bring anything that you have that's a prior estate document, because there's some misunderstandings out there about what crosses state lines. We get a lot of people move here, they have a will from another state, and they wonder, is that valid? And sometimes it is valid. It really has to do with the execution of it. In South Carolina, you have to have two disinterested witnesses, two people that are not in the will witness it, and you have to have a notary. And if you have a will from another state and it meets those requirements, there's a good chance that you possibly don't even need a new will. I try to be really upfront with people. If it may be a good idea to update it. There may be other reasons to update it, but I'm happy to look at it and let you know if I believe that you do need it. So bring anything you've got. Certain things do cross state lines. Living wills, healthcare powers of attorney typically cross state lines, and if you have one from another state, they're typically good. But we also go through line by line to make sure that your beneficiaries are still alive, that you still want to do things. In certain states, if you want to omit someone, you may have to do something different than what we would do in South Carolina. Like if you want to omit a child from a will in South Carolina, you have to intentionally do that. So all those kind of things. So I told, just bring everything that you have, and then let me look through it, and I'll give you an honest and truthful answer as to what you need. One of the reasons we like doing this is, we're an injury firm, and that's where the bulk of our, income comes from, bulk of our cases are. But this gives us sort of a way to serve the public. I mean, it's a, really inexpensive will compared to a lot of places. And we find that most people don't need complex estate planning. Most people don't need trust, but some do. And happy to refer people out, if they do.
I am proud to say that I just got my will done.
I was gonna ask, how long does the whole process take typically? Because I feel like on TV, it's always like they're changing the will and it happened really fast and secretly behind the scenes. Is it a process?
It depends.
Okay.
If we can do it quickly, yeah. We had someone the other day that we did it. She called. She was an elderly lady. It wasn't easy. She wasn't very mobile. So we took all the intake stuff over the phone. I drafted the will. She came in the next day and signed. Her son was in town for the week and he wanted to get it done. She was getting ready to move into a long-term care facility. So it can be done quickly. We do go to hospitals. The price can change on that a little bit if we have to do that, but we work with a mobile notary who can go to the hospital, and our paralegals can serve as witnesses. So the price can change on that, but we do offer that where some firms don't. It's just something we offer if need be. Yep. Let's see. So I wanted to talk about this too. The first goal that I have with a married couple is to try to make it very easy when the first spouse passes. And what I mean by that is try to have everything aligned where they're non-probate assets. If you have an asset if you have an estate that's under $45,000, you can actually open the estate after 30 days and close it really quick. If you have probate property that exceeds $45,000, then you will have to do a full estate, which takes over a year.
Thank you, Will. Thank you, Greg. Guys, right after the break, we're going to be talking, switching gears here, we're going to be talking about back to school. So stick with us here on Living Local Carolina. Welcome back to Living Local Carolina. I'm hanging out with the beach injury lawyers. We're now talking back to school. I can't believe it's already happening.
It goes like that.
Yeah,
it goes like that. They say that about kids, and it is really true. I have a 6 and a 9-year-old. Summer was fast. Summer was fast.
I'm just happy to say that I haven't dealt with back to school in, well, I'm just not going to say.
Yeah, we won't do any counting there.
It's been a long time.
You just got a new dog, though. So.
I did.
We didn't even do like a whole update of what you guys
We will. I tell you what. On our next show, we'll bring Mac.
I would love that.
We will bring Mac.
A puppy in the studio before he gets too big.
We'll put a little beach injury lawyers thing on him too.
Shameless plug.
Absolutely.
Well, what do people need to know about the basics of Horry County schools back to school?
Well, just wanted to provide just some basic information. One, we're the 3rd largest school district in the state, so we have 45,000 students under the care of our school district.
Wow.
And one of the things is, annually we are either the fastest or one of the fastest growing areas in the country, year by year. I have experienced firsthand the difficulty that it comes with trying to serve that many students in a small area. Carolina Forest and River Oaks, my daughter goes to River Oaks Elementary, and it has been very difficult. I mean, they're maxed out. So 2 new schools opened to address that specific issue. One is Pine Island Elementary, the other is Ten Oaks Elementary. So they're kind of taking River Oaks Elementary and Carolina Forest and spreading them out more evenly. So I think it's going to be a really, really good thing. Traffic in the morning was very...
I was going to ask, is that going to help with traffic? Because I don't even like going over to Carolina
My God,
Forest.
I hope so.
It's probably not going to help.
Yeah, maybe not too much.
I mean,
but
Carolina
crossed.
Carolina Forest is just, I live in Carolina Forest, and it's a nightmare. The traffic is just a nightmare.
You're on the outskirts too.
Yeah.
So all this is a result of the penny sales tax, and it also added 300 new teachers, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It also, and this is really great news, it allows for free breakfast and lunch for all students now. It's a very good thing, and one of the things that now people don't have to request it and ask for a waiver and those kind of things, which can be embarrassing. Now all kids, they're still going to be optional, additional things they can purchase, with cash, but they're basic, breakfast and lunch included.
I think that's
Love it.
amazing.
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
really do.
And
I think that's
necessary.
great.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
that's great.
they need to be fed. Period. Otherwise, you can't do your schoolwork.
And then when you pick them up, you better bring a snack. I don't care if they're fed
I've
or not.
heard that. I've heard that's quite a thing.
That is
you pick 'em
a
up,
thing.
You got any food in the car? That's the first thing they'll say.
For my 3-minute ride home, yes. You have to that or stop by a gas station for 3
You learned your
minutes.
lesson now.
Yeah, they've got me trained very well.
What else do people need to know about Horry County?
Well, one of the things that we're going to get into is safety and security. And we'll get into it more next segment, but I was thinking back to where I was when the Columbine shooting happened. So that was, it happened on April 20th of 1999. So I was still in college at the time and at USC. And I found it was amazing that since then, which that was the first major one, there has been 428 school shootings. Isn't that
That is a terrible statistic.
Yeah, over 400 deaths, and I think it was 1,500 people wounded, severely wounded. So
I mean, when I was coming up through school, that was unheard of.
Yeah.
You never saw a gun in school. You never saw a knife in school. I grew up in the Charlotte-Mecklenburg school system, and then in Alabama for a few years, and you never saw the type of violence that you see now, and and unfortunately, it's a reflection on society. People fighting in school, bringing weapons in school, people misbehaving on airplanes, in airports, on cruises, for heaven's sakes. Where we now have brawls and fights, breaking out. So, school is just a reflection, unfortunately, on society.
Definitely. Very important conversation. We're going to head on over to the break, but right after, we'll talk more about safety in our schools.
We'll be back right after this break with more Living Local Carolina.
Welcome back to Living Local Carolina. We've been talking about school safety and back to school with the beach injury lawyers. Kind of some heavy topics, but something that we definitely need to talk about, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So I started looking into it, researching for the show, and I spoke to some folks at Horry County, and I was happy to know that they have a dedicated office just set up purely for safety and security, and there's an entire staff, that's dedicated to it. Beginning last year, they began using what's called open gate security. So all school districts or all schools, including elementary schools, to get in, you go through. It's not a metal detector, but it detects weapons. So kids can still bring. I think they do have to put their laptops and stuff out, but for the most part, it's a lot quicker. It's not like TSA. Because they would never get to school if that was the case. But it is really good. It's called Open Gate. To get into the school, any school, you have to show your ID. They scan it. You sign in. You get a visitor's. I mean, it's a lot different than when I was growing up, and I think it's a good thing. One of the major campaigns that they've even registered and I think trademarked is if you see something, say something. Yes. Yeah. Which. That it pushes the theme that it's really like everyone's responsibility. I mean, I came across an article, and I don't know how long ago this was, but I believe it was Arizona. It was definitely a Midwest or Western state, where a mother, equipped her 13-year-old with an assault rifle, camouflage, bulletproof vest, all these things, and they had teamed up, and he was gonna go and shoot the school up and be famous, and she was gonna be part of it. The grandmother caught wind of it, contacted the school. So the kid gets to the school, and for whatever reason, he chose not to do it, but he was later arrested along with the mother. But if the grandmother wouldn't have called, because they were prepared, the school was ready, and had he come on, fortunately he didn't, because he probably would have got shot and killed. But it's everyone's responsibility. If the grandmother wouldn't have made the phone call, and she picked up on it because he made some comments about becoming famous that day, and she was like, "Well, how else he?" Just the open ears, open eyes, and.
And while good, it's also sad that Horry County schools they have drills. In it, I think there's 2 drills per semester. Did you used to have to do that?
I was going to
Really?
say something that I grew up having active shooter drills.
Wow.
We did hurricanes and any sort of
Get under
inclement
the
weather,
desk.
and we did active shooters. They would shut off all the lights in the classroom, and we would all have to hide in the corner, and the teacher would keep watch or something. It was
My daughter
scary.
told me about it, and I was like, "That's just
incredibly
traumatic."
scary.
Yeah, and that was completely normal to us. At least when I
Yeah.
was a kid, we thought, oh yeah, it's just what you do. You just do these active shooter drills. Because when you said that Columbine happened in '99, I was 2. So I grew up with yeah.
Thanks.
I
Thanks
vaguely
for that.
Sorry, I'm going to milk
but
this as long
that's-
as I can.
But that's amazing that students. It's great, but again, it's amazing that students now have to do that.
Yeah.
Because some crazy's gonna get an assault weapon and for whatever reason think it's a great idea to go shoot at small children. I don't.
Yeah. And we want to
Especially-
trust people. That's the thing that stinks.
I don't comprehend that. I remember getting under my desk. This is my only memory of kindergarten was getting under my desk for a nuclear attack drill and crawling under the desk. I'll never
For a
forget
nuclear
that.
attack?
Cold War.
That was in the '60s. So yeah, that was. Never had to do active shooter, but I'm not sure which is scary.
Yeah, that's kind
More
of
scary,
terrifying
which is a
too,
nuclear
Greg.
attack or
Jeez.
somebody with a gun.
60s. Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow, okay.
Absolutely, I remember that. So anyway,
Wow.
all right. We're going to move beyond
Makes
nuclear.
me feel better.
Yep.
All
We're
right.
going to move beyond.
Moving on to the next topic on here before we hit the break.
Yeah, the nuclear.
Yeah, we can't talk about
To do that anymore.
okay, you want to talk about some?
Why don't we? I tell you what. Why don't we start with this? Let's do some safety tips, and let's start with school buses. Everybody wonders when you see a school bus that stops and their arm comes out. Do I have to stop? When do I stop? When not? If you are behind a school bus or beside a school bus and they stop, the arm comes out, you must stop, regardless of how many lanes on the road there are. You have to stop. Now, opposing traffic, if you are driving up opposite on a school bus, if it is a 2-lane road, you must stop.
All right, guys, so I'm going to put a pin in this real quick. We'll get back to this right after the break with more school safety tips with the Beach Injury Lawyers. Welcome back to Living Local Carolina. We've been talking back to school, school safety with the Beach Injury Lawyers. You were just talking about some bus stop things we need to know, but what are some other things?
Well, school zones. Will had mentioned something about speeding in school in school zones. The fines are doubled. You will not get a warning. Your points are doubled. It is not a good thing to speed through a school zone. And the police are, whether it's Horry County or Myrtle Beach or North Myrtle Beach, I assure you they are going to be out in force the first few weeks of school, getting people that are speeding through school zones. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
Just don't do it. Yeah.
It takes like 15 extra seconds, going through that
Well,
school
and when the
zone.
school bus has the yellow light, that doesn't mean fly around it.
Yeah.
I mean slow up.
And I had read where really walking to school, walking to and from school, riding your bikes, cars, parents taking the children that are in the school zones. There are over 100 children killed every year and more than 25,000 injured. So that number was just astronomical to me. And what it takes is slowing down. Distracted driver, put your phone down. You're not supposed to have your phone anyway, but every time you drive, you can look around and people have their phones up. If you're around a school, don't do it. Don't do it. Children have a tendency to not act rationally at times. They will, if a ball goes rolling out into a street, they're gonna run and get it, especially the younger ones. And if you got a phone up to your face and you don't see them, that injury or death, I mean, that's it's going to be in your conscious for the rest of your life.
Oh God, yes.
All because you're not paying attention. So avoid distractions. Walking, I honestly don't know how many kids walk to school anymore. I know I walk to school every day, unless it was raining.
I was going to say through the wind, snow, and rain, bread bags on your feet.
That's exactly right.
Uphills both ways, yeah.
Well, so if you're going to walk to school, I remember my father. He took all of us, and he was like a little general, and he showed us exactly how to walk to school, where to walk, where not to walk, and where the crosswalks were, and we did it 2 days in a row, and just to ensure that we did, and we did not go outside of that. So, it's a good idea if you are going to let your kids walk to school to show them exactly where they should and should not walk.
Yeah.
Riding bikes are the same way.
Also, don't. I understand. River Oaks, as an example, is very difficult. But I've seen a lot of parents. They will drop their kid off, and then take a right, go through the neighborhood, and leave the kid to walk. That's not.
I didn't
That's
even know
putting
that
them
was
at
a
risk.
thing.
Yeah, so they don't have to sit through the whole line. They drop the kid off, and crosswalks. Crossing guards. They trump everything else. Okay, so they need to be obeyed. It's amazing. Sometimes I see people just basically disregard what they're asking them to do, and that can really cause some problems.
I mean, while crossing guards aren't police officers, the law says you got to obey them. I mean, if they walk out and they have the sign and they tell you to stop, the law requires you to stop. And if you pass them, you're going to get nailed. Yeah. And for good reason. So pay attention to the crossing guards. School bus safety, this is kind of a pet peeve of mine. Teach your children what to do and what not to do on a school bus.
Yeah.
All right, for instance, teach them not to put their heads out of the school bus windows.
Goodness.
People don't realize how many children are killed by putting their heads out and they're hanging out of the school bus and they get hit by a telephone pole or a passing truck, or it's awful. But teach your kids, stay in their seat, don't get up until you're told, and for heaven's sakes, don't ever put your head out the window.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for all these tips. Where can people learn more about beach injury lawyers in general?
You can give us a call. Our number is 843-357-4111.
And we're on Instagram, but I don't know what that is.
And we're also
Beach injury lawyers.
And we have a website, www.beachinjurylawyers.com. Yes.
The following portion of Living Local Carolina is sponsored by Beach Injury Lawyers.